Welcome back! It's episode 2 of this Thousand Suns Obsidian Fire paint scheme. And once again guys, I'm going to stress that I am not an amazing painter. I chose this scheme for speed, not for accuracy and detail. So let's just go straight in. Okay, the first colour we are going to be using on our Rubric Marine today is Granite Debris. Yes, I know that's confusing, but this is the base coat I've been using to match my lava bases, and I don't have another grey to use, so we're going to be using this. So obviously guys, we're starting with a black base that's been sprayed on, and the next stage for us is simply to dry brush the Granite Debris right across the model. Try and get as much paint off the brush as you can. Here we go. Let's do this very quickly for you. And what we're trying to do is we're just trying to make it look like a piece of stone. Okay, and now we have finished the first dry brush coat of the Granite Debris. So the base is now closer to the colour that we're looking for. The next step is to another thin dry brush using Administratum Grey, and we're just looking to highlight all the raised sections on the model. Okay, so I've got most of the paint off the dry brush now, and I'm just looking to catch the edges of anything that I think should be highlighted. And I'm not worried if I don't keep to just the edges, because we'll fix that. We'll fix that very shortly. Okay, the next colour we are going to be using is Mephiston Red. So now we've got the dark grey base coat, we've went over it with a little bit of Administratum Grey. We're now gonna get some of the fire and lava marked in where we think it's going to go with the red, before we go and darken it down before lighting it up again. So first I'm going to detail where I want the red, and then I'm going to dry brush some of the jetpack flames, if you like, the hot metal on the jetpack. So let me just grab some brushes and we'll be right back. So if you watched episode 1, you'll be aware of the colours we use and how the lava effect is achieved. It's not any different from how we did the base. I just need to randomly assign where the sort of fire effect is going to go. And this is the back of the fire on the model. So we just need to paint it in roughly where we want it to go, and then we'll build it up later. So don't worry if you're not happy with how it looks, you can fix it later. Now we're going to try and get some red in the eyes as well. So I'm using a detail brush to do this, so bear with me, I'm not the best at eyes. And we will fix the overpainting later. Okay, so now we have the red on. We know where the flames are going. Oh, missed a wee bit here in the jetpack. So we have dry brushed the jetpack just to get the red glow of the metal, and everywhere else we've used a layer or a detail brush just to sort of pencil in the darkest part of the lava and the flame that's burning through the armour. The next step for us is to darken everything back down with some Nuln oil. And we're going to do that very quickly, and then we'll come back to the next stage. I do like to get a little bit of water on my brush while using this, just so it's not not as thick as it could be. And what we're going to do is, everywhere there's a recess, we're just going to brush it in. Anywhere that we have hit with the light grey that we didn't mean to, just going to bring back a little bit with this non-oil. Back down a shade. And don't be afraid with this stuff, just go mental, to be honest. Even if you do hit the trims, it just makes it look like it's been burnt or worn a little bit. Okay guys, that's the Nuln Oil still wet and drying, so we will give that time to dry. We've just brushed that into all the crevices, we've even hit some of the highlights, but we're not bothered. So we want it to look dirty, we want it to look burnt. It is obsidian fire. It wasn't formed in some workshop. So we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to come back and we're going to build up the fire effects, the lava effects, where we've put in the red. And in case anyone's wondering where the arms and the bolter are and the arm pads, I prefer to paint it with the arms off. I actually have already painted the arms. I painted them before the video, but the process is the exact same. So we'll come back and we'll look at the finished model and we'll just summarise the phases to achieve the arms and also the arm pads, which are already done. But we'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. We're back, and I believe the Nuln Oil has now dried. I've given it about 20 minutes. So now we're just going to get the next colour, which is going to be Troll Slayer Orange. And what we're going to do is we're just going to go over in a thinner line. Everywhere where there's red, we're just going to go over it again with the orange and try and sort of build up the hotter part of the glow. Okay. And while we're working on the orange, we're just going to try and touch some into the eyes. Okay, a little bit of mistake there, but we'll fix that later. And still with the orange, we're just going to dry brush the jetpack area. Okay, and that's us done with the orange. It does look quite faint over the red, but we're going to go over it next with, what is it called again? Real yellow, and that's going to really bring out some of the flames. Okay, so we're just trying to go as thin as we can over these existing orange lines. Okay, you see it starts to sort of look a little bit like fire. The core, the hot core of fire. I'm going to try and do the eyes at this point as well, to avoid doing them later. Tiny dot of yellow in there if we can get one. Now we're just going to finish the yellow layer by dry brushing some onto the back. Okay. next stage for us is to highlight the yellow with some mix of 50% white and 50% yellow. Okay, 50% white, 50% yellow, and we're just looking to really bright up the brightest parts of the flame and the lava on the jetpack and the armour. So let's just do that as quick as we can. Okay, and that is us done now with the colours, the lava colours. Despite my yellow, it turned out okay. My yellow is very, very thick right now. It must have dried out. I must have accidentally left it open. So I'm going to have to buy another pot of yellow. However, we're going to go back now. We're going to go back to the Administratum Grey. Okay, so we're going back to Administratum Grey, and we're just going to highlight some of the trim detail and fix anywhere around the eyes that isn't quite in the eye sockets. Okay. Okay, that's me now. Went over the trims, the highlights if you like, the parts that I want to stand out with the Administratum Grey, the light grey. I'm now going to go back over again with Nuln Oil, just to kill any areas that I don't want to be shouting out as much as they are. Okay guys, this is the Nuln Oil applied. I'm now just waiting for the Nuln Oil to dry. We'll get the gun and the arm glued on, we'll get the shoulder pads glued on, and we'll get them on as proper base so we can have a look at how the end result looks. Once again, apologies, my yellow, I'm going to say, chunked up in the Scottish heat, the unnatural heat that we're getting in Scotland this year. But hopefully this was a nice quick guide for you, maybe more of a colour palette to what I used to get the original effect. To be fair, I haven't painted the Thousand Suns for a couple of months now, so I'm trying to think back to what I was doing, but yeah, it turned out okay, not great. Wish the yellow would work. But next time I think I will try and replicate the Magnus effect on a soul grinder that I got off eBay and I've since prepared. So it will be fun to paint them up in this lava scheme, and I'll hopefully see you next time. Okay guys, this is the final result. You can see that the gun that I did earlier, as in a couple of months ago, the yellow was still yellow, so I've done my best with what yellow I had. Got the arm pads on now, he's on his base, and the overall effect I think is pretty nice. And hopefully you'll see some nice images of the rest of the army coming up on the screen just now. So yeah, overall if you were painting 10 at once, you know, or batches of 5, it is a really quick and dirty method to have quite a visually nice lava themed army, something a bit different for the Thousand Suns. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this guys. I will be painting the Soul Grinder next as discussed previously,